The only win coming against Clemson when Kara Lewis played for them, and Lewis is no longer with Clemson. She has left that team. And we are about to get underway. Georgia Tech, Lorella Kubai, who is the person who really makes that defense hum, jumping. Center, there she is, number 13. And Hermosa right away goes inside as you take a look at the Georgia Tech starting five. Lodamai Lotman has been running the point, even though she's more of a natural two-guard. Nerea Hermosa, that's a player that Nell Fortner would like to see get going tonight. As you look at Syracuse's starting five, Tisha Hyman, the only one who was with the program before this season. A lot of transfers for this team, and they are undersized compared to Georgia Tech.
Well, Nell Fortner talked to us about the fact that they have a size advantage and they want to look to go inside early and often. They want to get touches inside, find the gaps in the zone, get some easy looks.
There is Nell with Mickey DeMoss to her right on your screen left. Nell doing a terrific job with this program, was the ACC Coach of the Year, taking them all the way to the Sweet 16 last year, now in their third season. Lotman trying to find some holes in that Syracuse zone. Hyman, number 5 in white for Syracuse, running the show. And a turnover. Kubai comes up with it, and she is capable of bringing the ball up by herself, finds Lotman in mid-stride.
And turnovers were a concern for Vaughn Reed. He said, number 1 for us the rest of the year, we have to take care of the basketball, and live ball turnovers in particular. Georgia Tech is a team that struggles offensively. You can make it difficult on them, but as soon as you can get easy buckets in transition, you get confidence and get going.
And the Syracuse team, the offensive numbers not impressive. They already have 3 turnovers on the game just to start things off. Kubai misses on the lay-in attempt, but aggressively gets the rebound. The best rebounder in the ACC follows her shot, and it's a good sign for Georgia Tech when she is aggressive to the rim.
It really is. I mean, she's a player who has been more offensive-minded since conference play has begun, and Georgia Tech needs that from her.
Christiana Carr missing from the outside. Her first year at Syracuse after starting out at Kansas State. Lily Love off the rim, rebound. Kubai and Stratmana converge, and one of them has picked up a personal foul. Georgia Tech has won 3 straight and 4 of the last 5 games in this series. Winning last year by 13 in Atlanta.
Pam, I don't know if you can hear the bench over there talking about defensive execution, calling the play out, back screen stagger, and that's one of the things that makes Georgia Tech so successful on the defensive end, their communication, their attention to detail, and scout defense.
Yeah, whenever we have talked to opposing coaches, as Mickey DeMoss goes up to talk to Coach Fortner, we've had coaches actually say that they enjoy watching them play, and they bring up the intelligence, as you mentioned, and their attention to detail, and they kind of have to be. As great as they are defensively, they have had some major offensive struggles. This is Hyman at the line. Georgia Tech with wins, back-to-back wins against Georgia and UConn. Best defensive team in the nation, but look, in the conference, their ranks are towards the bottom, and most of them, except for assists, as Hermosa gets on the board.
Well, Georgia Tech is a team that will always keep themselves in ball games because they are going to hold their opponents. They are going to lock down on the defensive end of the floor, and if they're able to get some buckets and get some more balance, find some ways to score the basketball, it certainly is a good sign for them when Hermosa starts knocking down those 15-foot jumpers.
3 different Georgia Tech players have already scored, and Hermosa gets fouled on her way to the bucket.
Well, this is what Kubai does. I mean, she is such a good facilitator and does a great job of just dropping the pass down. And Hermosa gets an opportunity at the foul line.
Maria Hermosa, junior from Spain. Her numbers improving, 10.5 points per game. The leading scorer on this team. Otomai Lotnin right behind her, and then Lorella Kubai, all three of them, pardon me, along with Love, averaging just over 10 points per game. Hermosa delivers at the line. She has 4 of their 9 points, and boy, Syracuse having trouble offensively, not getting any offensive boards. And a block by Kubai, their emotional leader and a terrific defender.
Yeah, she really is. And Nell Fortner has talked all season long about Lorella Kubai being the anchor on the defensive end of the floor. Her timing, very good right there on that block shot.
Syracuse now 0 for 4 from the floor, and they give it up. Ball knocked out of Love's hands, but Georgia Tech hangs on to it. There you see the 4 turnovers. Georgia Tech usually does a good job of hanging on to the basketball themselves, only averaging about 13 turnovers. They've had 3 games when they've had fewer than 10, and yet another bucket. It's a 9-point lead.
Well, what Georgia Tech does is they keep you from running your stuff. I mean, they're really disruptive. They're very disciplined on the defensive end of the floor, and that's a great take by Hyman inside. If you can break a player down one-on-one and force a defensive rotation, that's how you get high percentage looks. The ball has to get reversed, or you have to get 2 feet in the paint.
That is the first Syracuse field goal. It's Kubai, she's got that little, I don't even know how you would describe that. Not really, it's almost like a facing the basket hook shot, that little one-hander, and she banks it in.
Well, it's always a good sign for Georgia Tech when Kubai is aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, she's so capable of being a dominant presence on the offensive end, and has at times not wanted that role. And in ACC play, we have seen her step up and accept that.
The tendency for her to shoot fadeaways, not her favorite thing. Nell Fortner's favorite thing. Kubai almost got an assist on that, but Love couldn't convert, and then the foul on Hermosa. And Kubai, you mentioned her passing ability. Now, she leads this team and is 3rd in the ACC in assists per game, and right towards the top, 2nd in the ACC to Olivia Miles in assist to turnover ratio. And you're talking about a 6'4" post player doing this.
She's a facilitator. She has that point guard mentality, which is oftentimes why you see her running that point forward position. She understands the game, she understands the system, and how and when to get her teammates the ball.
Hyman can't get it to go. Rebound taken down by Stratmana, but her pass is intercepted by Christiana Carr. She is number 43, Chrislyn Carr, number 32. Both of them are transfers. Not related. Hyman doing all the work, isn't she, for Syracuse so far?
Yeah, and one of the things is you look early offensively for Syracuse, getting the ball reversed, not having to play one-on-one as much. And the more often that Hyman's able to break down the defense, is another 2 inside by Hermosa. Then you're going to start to see the 3-point shot open up. The defense is breaking down, rotations will be had, and then the 3-point shot will open up.
And just as you say that, Alicia Stiles hitting from the outside. Stiles, another transfer, played at Maryland, before that at Cal. Getting it into Kubai, and Stiles did a great job of drawing the charge call. We hit our first timeout. When we come back to Syracuse, we will talk about a basketball legend.
I tell you, Lucy Harris was she was ahead of her time. She was one of the most impactful women's basketball players that I had ever witnessed and particularly played against. And, you have those players that are difference makers for the game. They take the game to another level. And we've had those. We've seen those. Some are still playing. You got the Candace Parkers, the Dinah Taurasi's. You had the Cheryl Millers. And Lucy Harris was that player that was a difference maker during the time that she played.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous, and played in when it was the AIAW before the NCAA was sanctioning championships. And Marianne Stanley, who played against her when she was at Immaculata, compared her to Sylvia Fowles. So that's how you know. I mean, played before there was much attention at all, but a tremendous basketball player, and according to Mickey DeMoss, a terrific person as well.
Well, Delta State dethroned Immaculata back in the AIAW championship days.
Yeah, Immaculata won 3 in a row, and then Delta State took 3 in a row. And Mickey DeMoss, remember going to Mississippi to play against Lucy Harris. So you look back at a great career and a life certainly well lived. As we're back at Syracuse, Georgia Tech with 10 points in the paint, but Syracuse hanging in there now, down just 4. Syracuse trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. There's Stratmana, the former Orange player, and it rolls on in. She scored more points than anybody on the floor here at this building.
She should get that roll, right? Those rims familiar.
Yeah, got over 1,000 points during her career at Syracuse. And Coach Fortner said that it's kind of a fine line, because Stratmana, really known as a really nice kid, 23-year-old kid now, but you don't want to really, maybe you were a former coach, get in the kid's head and maybe talk to them too much about going back, getting them a little bit too emotional, but certainly knowing that this was going to be a big trip for Diggy, as she is called at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and especially we saw early on the love that she was getting and giving to people around the building. And when there's a special place, of course, you're a little nervous. It's a little bit of emotional time. But once the game starts playing, you usually settle in, and we see Stratmana looking like she's settling in.
Vaughn Reed mentioned that she is had been one of the favorite players. He was a longtime assistant under Coach Hilsman, and now the acting head coach. Stratmana hunts down the rebound. And there's Digna, who is a terrific outside shooter. Georgia Tech being very patient out on the perimeter, and Hyman is called for the foul with 11 seconds left on the shot clock.
Vaughn Reed talked to us about the fact that Georgia Tech is a team that wants to be disciplined on the offensive end. They want to work the ball. They want to shoot at the end of the shot clock, and it is important for Syracuse to be disciplined. They only go 6 deep, so they can't afford to get in foul trouble. Switch from that traditional 2-3 zone that we're used to seeing Syracuse play into this 3-2 zone, and Georgia Tech continuing to find ways to score inside.
Yeah, there's Kubai. They really are chewing them up in the paint. Something that was expected. Syracuse is undersized against just about every team that they play, whether in conference or not, and that is a terrific drive. Syracuse now down by 6 as we get close to a minute to play in the first quarter.
And Pam, watch, the Syracuse wings are going with the cutters in the zone. Really good hands right there by Carr.
And this is what Syracuse can do, beating Georgia Tech down the floor. The finish by Chrislyn Carr.
3rd in the league in steals. This is a team that really can turn teams over when they can do what they do best. Get out in passing lanes, pressure defense, play full court, 94 feet.
Lotman left open for the 3, off the mark. Hermosa got the rebound, and a foul on Syracuse. Stiles called for the personal foul. Both of these teams with very short benches. Hermosa, good look, and she finished.
It's really tough to play zone defense on baseline out of bounds, and really, especially in the 3-2, trying to find a matchup. And Hermosa, that's her second face-up jump shot that she's knocked down. That is always a really good sign for Nell Fortner when she can get going offensively.
Because sometimes she can not be as aggressive as they would like her to be offensively. Will they get a shot off? They do. It is short, however, to end the first quarter. Syracuse hanging in there, down 6 after 1 quarter of play. Games in a row. Lorella Kubai and Georgia Tech with the 6-point lead. Hermosa and Kubai combining for 14 points for this Georgia Tech team that is coming off a loss to Miami. Neither team scored 50 points in that game. Hyman has been doing most of the offensive work along with Carr. They each have 6. Pam Ward and Stephanie White joining you. Chilly night in Syracuse. Kubai looking inside to Hermosa. You can just see the height advantage, and it works right over Christiana Carr.
Yeah, it's really going to be a tough cover for any of the defenders on Syracuse, post defenders on Syracuse. I mean, the size, the skill set by Hermosa and Kubai inside. If you don't bring a double or at least have somebody down there digging in to make these posts uncomfortable, it could be a long night.
And Carr heads over to the bench. Hermosa completes the 3-point play. Jay Murray, who has been in a shooting slump for Syracuse. Outside shot rims out for Elena Rice. Lotman, Hermosa, nice. Inside to Kubai, who couldn't get it, but she was fouled.
Man, we've seen these two work this high-low game throughout the season, and they just keep getting better and better. And instinctually, that's just a great touch pass by Hermosa, getting the ball inside to Kubai. And exactly what Vaughn Reed talked to us about. They cannot afford to get in foul trouble.
Kubai gets a friendly roll on that, and it's the two big players, Kubai at 6'4", Hermosa at 6'5", who are doing most of the scoring, combining for 18 points now for Tech. Murray bottled up, gets it over to Stiles. And this is what Georgia Tech does, stout defense.
It is. They make it very difficult for you to run your stuff, and they force you to get impatient. They force you to break the play before you really need to break the play. And a great job of getting a hand on the ball.
Lotman able to get in there. Lodamai Lotman, who last year was the most improved player in the ACC, also on the first team All-League squad. And Royal McQueen, after just 3 games, entered the transfer portal, and Lotman has been running the point a lot this year. Took steps that time, but Coach Fortner calls them initiators because she doesn't really have a true point guard on this team.
Yeah, Royal McQueen with the transfer, Kiara Fletcher out with injury for this season, and depending upon who this team plays, Nell Fortner will utilize those initiators in different situations. Sometimes it might be Lily Love, sometimes it might be Lorella Kubai, Lodamai Lotman, and even Aviance Carter off the bench.
Yeah, it really is
remarkable.
Remarkable what she and her staff have kind of pieced together for this Georgia Tech team, getting them into the top 25. Here's Lotman on the go. Sarah Bates checking in, number 3 in the dark blue. Stratman, a little bit too short. Rebound.
That's one
Christiana
of those,
Carr.
That's one of those I thought Kubai should have shot. She had Christiana Carr in front of her. Passes. That was a good look out for the backside 3, but that's one of those more aggressive offensive plays that you can get from Lorella Kubai.
That's a good rebound by Rice. One of the few offensive rebounds so far for the Orange. Hyman almost threw it away. Here's Hyman, the reach in on Lotman. We have another really good women's basketball quadruple header for you on the ACC Network and the app. And we're going to feature two of them at North Carolina and Georgia Tech coming up at noon Eastern Time. This is on Sunday. And we will have Virginia Tech, NC State at 4 Eastern Time. Wolfpack unbeaten in league play, but will that be true after tonight? Because an hour from now, NC State and Louisville are going to tip off over on ESPN, and as soon as this game's over, we're going to scramble to go watch that one. Should be a great one, the two best teams in the ACC.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting ball game, and Louisville's a team who really prides themselves on the defensive end of the floor as well, and NC State can fill it up. Really balanced interior and on the perimeter.
Virginia Tech playing after us in our doubleheader tonight against Pitt. And has NC State on Sunday. A lot of whistles so far in this game. Kristlyn Carr called for it. Syracuse looking for its first points of this third quarter. Started the game off slowly, missing 6 of their first 7. They've missed every shot so far in this quarter. Hyman fouled her from behind. Lily Love has a chance to shoot free throws.
Lily Love is so good off the bounce. She's able to get in the paint, use her body. Not quite able to finish. But Pam, this is a Syracuse team that has given up a lot of points in the paint. You look at some of the numbers in the ball games, especially in conference play, and 40 points, 50 points in the paint, and really vulnerable in this 3-2 zone. And you've got to lock it up one way or another, either defending penetration and not allowing one-on-one drives, or you've got to find a way to converge in the paint and force outside shots.
Love able to convert, and Syracuse is in big-time foul trouble. We already talked about their dearth of players, and Tisha Hyman just picked up her 3rd personal foul, and Coach Reed is keeping her out there. Doesn't really have a whole lot of options. Only 6 Syracuse players in the game, or have played in this game, pardon me. Stiles comes in for Christiana Carr, known as Chrissy to her teammates.
And that makes it tough for Von Reed in this program. And this is a program they want to play a certain way. They want to press 94 feet for 40 minutes. They want to turn you over. And when you don't have the depth to do that, you have to adjust. And their adjustment has been to play this 3-2 zone. Their adjustment has been to run some different things on the offensive end of the floor. They're not quite able to play the way that they would like to.
Bates from the outside has it cup out. Mosa playing a solid first half, gives them a second chance. Oh gosh, that's another foul on Syracuse, this time on Najee Murray, and that's one of the first things when we talked to Coach Reed. He said, we, as you mentioned, can't foul, and they've been doing a lot of fouling so far in this game.
And that last defensive possession was a better possession because they dug in when Kubai got the ball on the block. She was able to find a shooter on the backside, but you have to pick your poison at this point if you're Syracuse. You want Georgia Tech taking outside shots. You do not want them to continue to pound the ball in the paint.
They have really owned the paint area so far in this game. Georgia Tech already is in the bonus. With 6.5 minutes left to go. Love delivers at the free throw line. You saw Hyman go out, pardon me, so she is out with her 3 personal fouls. And another whistle on the Christiana Carr drive to the basket. See the drought, almost 4.5 minutes without a point for Syracuse. And that means they haven't scored in this quarter. Christiana Carr, still nothing. Syracuse has been hurt in every game this year. They seem to have a bad quarter, and so far it's this one. They've scored nothing. not every game, but every loss, I should say. This is a team that's 8-8. They've lost 4 in a row. Arnaz in the game, and they're saying it's off of her foot.
Well, Pam, you talked about the one lone quarter that seems to be missing for Syracuse, and you can look at the numbers right there. I mean, the fourth quarter at Louisville and Notre Dame, and the third quarter at North Carolina, some single-digit points. But look at their field goals. I mean, just not able to put the ball in the hole. And in these quarters, they've been outscored by an average of 13 points. It's significant. And you cannot allow, if you're Syracuse, your offense to dictate your defense. And in quarters and games where they're struggling shooting the ball, they also struggle holding their opponents down.
Yeah, it's been a double-edged sword in a bad way for them. Carter with the miss. Now the three, and there were no white jerseys underneath. Love comes up with the rebound for Syracuse as we get 5 minutes to go in the half. Kubai, beautiful to Hermosa.
There's just no way to stop that. I mean, Alasia Stiles is undersized inside, and Ray Hermosa does such a good job of doing her work early and getting position. Got to have better ball pressure, got to move your feet, and Syracuse is going to have to use their quickness and ability to get around defenders. You can't fight those bigs of Georgia Tech down low.
Kubai getting some words from Coach Fortner. Syracuse has finally scored in this quarter, but Hermosa's having a heck of a game.
Yeah, she's been terrific inside, has dominated the paint, finishes with 2 there.
Welcome back. Georgia Tech with the lead over Syracuse. Lorella Kubai being attended to over on the sidelines after she got hit in the mouth. And yes, there's some blood there. Let's see what happened to Kubai right there at the top of the key. That's Christiana Carr. Just caught her, a little flyby, and boy, talk about a great career for Kubai, coming back as a super senior. Went over both 1,000 points and rebounds in her great career, and has played the most games in the history of this program, along with the most boards.
Second player in Georgia Tech history with 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. Second to Bonnie Tate, who did it back in 1977.
Pre-NCAA days. Murray with the miss. Najee Murray has really been struggling with her shot.
You're right, Kane, the last 3 games. Yeah, she's shooting at 15% from the three-point line, 18% overall. And, you know, she was very upfront about the fact that, you know, she struggled. It doesn't have anything to do with COVID-related. She just needs to get in the gym outside of practice time and get some extra reps up. And when you're a shooter, sometimes it's just confidence. You just need to see one fall before you can get going again.
And Coach Reed talked about her him wanting her to keep on taking shots. That's the only way to get out of it. Said he still has great confidence that she could all of a sudden have a 20-point game. But right now, she and the rest of her teammates are really struggling. Love with a nice move to rid herself of the defender. Stratmana bails him out with another chance. And then Carter ran into Rice.
Well, Aviance Carter looking to attack the paint, and a good job of Rice of being in position to create contact and get the offensive foul.
Kubai,
right now,
you didn't think Kubai was going to be out for long, did you, with that too? She's back.
No, and Nell Forner talks about her. She talks about her whole team really like just tough as nails. I mean, this is a team that's just physically tough, mentally tough. They can fight their way through a lot of things that a lot of players can't.
Yeah, she's particularly effusive of her praise of Lorella Kubai. Just a consummate team player. Lautinen able to get in the passing lane and come up with the steal. Kubai with the ball, driving on Stiles. A little bit too strong off the glass. Kubai with 8 points, Hermosa with 13. And the ball finds the bottom of the net for Stiles.
That's a good sign for Syracuse. Stiles is playing well offensively, coming off a 10-point game against Louisville. And this is a team in Syracuse that played Louisville really well until the fourth quarter of the basketball game. So you can gain some confidence when the ball goes through the net, knowing that you're right there. And this is a really good look. Hermosa's there, but her hand is low, and Stiles steps up and knocks it down.
And that is only the second three that Stiles has hit all season now, 2 of 8 from distance. Actually, she's got 2 today, so she only had 1 coming into this game and has nailed 2 of them. As we remind you, at 10 Eastern tonight after our women's basketball doubleheader, tune into Nothing But Net, also coming your way Saturday at 10 Eastern time on the men's edition. And that is coming up on the ACC network and the ESPN app.
Kristlyn Carr got a nice 2 there. She was able to get down the lane and hit a tough shot.
After a major slump, Syracuse has scored the last 7 points of this game. They have cut it to a single-digit lead. And inside, Stiles just off the rim after she got good position on Hermosa.
And that was a great catch. I mean, that was a bullet that came at a tough angle. Stiles was able to get a hand on that and corral it.
Asia Stiles with some quality minutes. Stropmana bought the fake. Love coming up with the rebound.
You know, right now I think back a little bit to what Vaughn Reed talked to us about. When this team is at their best, they're sharing the basketball. They have a high assist-to-made field goal ratio. And right now in the first half of this ball game, everything that they're doing in terms of scoring buckets is coming individually. Just not much of a flow on the offensive end, not much of a rhythm, not moving the ball. Georgia Tech makes that tough on you, but at the same time, they've got to find ways to get the ball moving.
Stiles misses from there, and then a foul on Rice. And I was just going to say, how much of that is Georgia Tech known for their tenacious defense? But Syracuse struggling to play their kind of basketball tonight. They have 3
right.
assists on their 9 field goals, pardon me.
Yeah, some of it is Georgia Tech's ability to just be disruptive, and some of it is not ready to make the next pass. You know, oftentimes when you catch and the ball gets stuck and you're trying to think about what to do next instead of just knowing what's happening next or feeling what's happening next. But if you can get 1 or 2 ball reversals on Georgia Tech, your likelihood of getting a higher percentage shot is much better than just pounding the ball and taking a quick shot on one side.
So Carr now joins Hyman with 3 personal fouls for Syracuse. Nia Wilson has entered the game, the true freshman from Dallas. Does not get a lot of playing time, averages about 3 points per game. There's a good look at Nia, who went to Duncanville High School. I think I know someone else who went there who's pretty good.
Yes, a lot of great players have come from Duncanville High School, but yes.
Kubai, now she's bleeding on her leg. The answer to that question was Tamika Catchings, among others. Catchings is the best. So Kubai had a bloody mouth earlier, and now they're attending to her knee. Kubai so far tonight with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Has a block, a couple of steals, and she is on the midseason Wooden list for National Player of the Year. And her offense can get anywhere close to her defense. She would be unbelievable.
Well, Nelford talked to us about Lorella Kubai when she was playing in Italy. She was asked to be a facilitator. She was not asked to be a scorer. She has not been asked to be a scorer until probably this year for Georgia Tech. She's always been capable. She has a great basketball IQ, a great understanding, but it just hasn't been comfortable for her.
Do not count that basket. The foul before the shot by Murray.
Well, Syracuse has had success getting down the lane, getting in the paint off of the dribble, and Hermosa called for that foul.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a grab as Arnaz comes in for Hermosa, who's had a really good first half. She has 13 points, has only missed one shot. As we go inside, 50 seconds to go. Syracuse is trailed by as many as 16, trying to cut it back to a single-digit lead. But another turnover, it's Lottinen. And that is one of the things that she can do, is steal it and then go all the way.
And that was a heck of a move, Pam, to split those defenders and finish on the other side.
Tech with 11 points off Syracuse turnovers. Getting the lead back up to 13. Whistling Carr, guarded by Lottinen. Now on the switch. And a terrific look inside to Stiles. Nicely done by Carr. Good way to end the half for Syracuse as they go into the locker room down 11. They do have a couple of players with 3 fouls apiece. Hermosa and Kubai, the big two, combining for 23 points for Georgia Tech. At the half, Tech leads it 35-24. Free throw line, Georgia Tech 11 of 12 from the charity stripe so far in this game. Tech coming off a tough loss to Miami when they lost 46-45, and Mel Fortner said it, when you only give up 46 points, you should be winning ball games. But they were off playing in a long stretch, 4 games in 8 days, and Hermosa picks up right where she left off.
That was a great look again by Hermosa, but Pam, you're right. 4 games in 8 days, they won the 3 previous. Get to that 4th game, and Georgia Tech does not have a strong bench either. I mean, they only play about 7 players. They really stick with their starting 5 a lot of the minutes, so fatigue had to have played a factor, particularly how they struggled offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 Georgia Tech players converged on Hyman, who missed her first shot. And then Stiles and Whistling Carr were the only 3 Syracuse players who scored in that first half.
Pam, you saw an animated Georgia Tech bench over there, Mickey DeMoss. I know that she had told Hermosa to take the open shot.
DeMoss animated? Always.
No.
Chief of staff on this team, longtime assistant Hall of Famer, is working with the legendary Pat Summitt. Stropmanov did that a lot when she wore the orange uniform her first few years in the game.
Well, and Syracuse looking to attack those mismatches again, but Stropmanov able to use her length to get a hand on that ball.
And then gets the rebound of the miss against Stropmanov, coming back after being a 4-year starter at Syracuse, a grad transfer, now playing for Georgia Tech, one of the most popular players during her time. And there's a charge on Love, nicely drawn.
This was a really good look, I felt like, by Stropmanov. And a strong recovery by Najee Murray to get over there and to take that charge. When she was all the way over and help side, double teaming Kubai and able to recover and draw the charge.
So 14th turnover now for Georgia Tech. Najee Murray said that she wants to contribute in other ways. Her shot is continuing to be off. She was 0 for 5 in this game. Wow! From a really difficult angle, Christiana Carr nailing the shot.
Sometimes those shots, when they're heavily contested and you have to get them really high arc, get it up there and give it a chance to go in, are the best ones. Maybe this can get Syracuse going offensively.
That was a terrific. Carr is the best 3-point shooter on this team, and this was just acrobatic.
Well, this was heavily contested. She had to get it up. You see it goes over the backboard, knocks it in. That was a heck of a shot.
And Kubai was defending her well, just a better shot.
Pam, this right here is what I was talking about in the first half, about getting the ball moving quicker. They're running the horn set, which is a different set than they ran in the first half. You know the ball needs to get reversed. It can't stick in your hands for 2, 3, 4 seconds before. Georgia Tech's too good. They're going to take away next pass. You have to get them while they're in the middle of recovering and closing out.
Syracuse just 2 of 12 from 3 in this game.
So we see the adjustment by Syracuse. We see the adjustment. They're bringing that weak side, heavy help inside. The skip and the seal are going to be open, but they're doing exactly what they need to do, forcing turnovers, then getting scores in transition.
Christiana Carr with another bucket. Love tried to save it. Not able to collect it around midcourt.
So see Murray all the way in and help, now recovering out. That's the skip and seal that's going to be there.
Hermosa almost just blew that. Missed the first shot, but was able to get the putback. Hermosa's career high is 20 points, and she's getting close to it. Hyman off the mark. Hermosa couldn't save. The ball stays with Syracuse. College basketball coming your way on the ACC Network. Coming up on Saturday, a triple header highlighting these 2 games for you. It's Virginia and NC State at 4 Eastern time, and then North Carolina traveling to Wake Forest. That's the 8 o'clock game Eastern time on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Goodbye gets the Hyman miss and brings the ball up. Stromino thought about it. Hermosa with the post up, then cleared out of the way. Love frustrated because she's missed some shots from the floor, but has done a good job drawing fouls.
Yeah, really good read by Lily Love to attack the defender. The help was not there that time, and creates another opportunity at the foul line.
Nice call for the personal foul, and Aaliyah Love, known as Lily, sophomore from Kansas City, heads to the free throw line. These 2 games, Lily has really struggled. Just 7 of 24 from the floor. That's 29%. And tonight she's 0 for 3. So just 7 of her last 27. But this is a way to get on the scoring column that maybe Najee Murray should consider, right? Not taking the jump shots, drawing contact, maybe get to the line, try to get some, not necessarily easier shots, but maybe more high percentage shots.
Yeah, when you're struggling from the floor, you got to find a way to get some easier shots. Some of those are going to be in transition. Some of those are just like that, getting into the paint, getting some layups. You just need to see the ball go through the bottom of the net. And her teammates can help as a steal. And can she get the 2? Yes. Hyman gets the 2. But her teammates can help too by creating shots for her. Get her open looks.
Najee Murray missed her first 6 shots before she hit the one before Hyman, and now Syracuse basketball. Turn you over, Hyman! Oh, that would have been big. Rice battled for the rebound along with Love, and the ball stays with Syracuse. The Orange making a run, only down 8 as we hit a timeout.
The Qs have gotten themselves back in this ball game because of their defensive energy and intensity. They made an adjustment at halftime. They've come out. They've been able to get their hands on the ball. Defense turning into offense, giving them a little momentum and attacking the paint. Again, off of the screen and roll, able to get an easy 2. And then the steal. Von Reed said, we're going to pick our times where we can come with the pressure, try to and convert.
So far, so good in this quarter for a Syracuse team that was down by as many as 16, trailed by 11 at the half. They've cut it now to 8 steals. They've had 3 in this quarter, converting 2 of them into field goals. Now Lotman says, who, me? And the answer is yes, you.
Doesn't every
Lotman
player say
Carr.
that? What?
Oh,
Me?
It seems, right? Yeah, the universal signal, right? The palms
Yes.
facing towards the sky. Not me. That is the second personal foul on Lodemeyer Lottman. There they come. Syracuse starting to heat up. That's Chrislyn Carr.
Man, that was a really tough shot by Carr. She wasn't able to get free. Loudon did a great job defensively, but it was better offense.
Carr averaging 14.5 points per game, now has 10, and the lead is 6. Georgia Tech scuffling a bit in this third quarter. Stratmana over Najee Murray, and another, we got a 5'6" guard on 6'2" Stratmana, and now Lottman with the takeaway. Draws another foul.
Well, Pam, if you're the Qs, when you get opportunities, you got to take advantage and you got to take care of the basketball. And that turnover led to a transition look and now an opportunity at the foul line for Lottman.
Chrislyn Carr with her second personal foul. Lottman now at the free throw line. Gets one out of two. Hermosa with the rebound. Kubai missed everything on the fadeaway. Good pass. Yeah, Styles inside, but Rice couldn't hit it.
Those are the moments. I mean, Vaughn Reed talked to us about we have such a small margin for error. The 6-0 runs, the 8-0 runs, they really hurt us. And when you have opportunities to score easy ones in transition, you have to be able to convert.
At least a chance, but Georgia Tech comes away with an empty possession. Styles picks her dribble up. And the drive and the conversion for Nia Wilson, the freshman. Or excuse me, that's Hyman who got inside of Kubai, challenged her, and Hyman won. Love. Now to Lottman. Hermosa's been working hard, trying to post up all night. Stratmana, well short. Offensive rebound, Lottman. And now Kubai called for the charge, drawn by Styles.
You can certainly sense a different intensity in Syracuse defense in the second half, and a really good job by Styles of getting in position to take that charge. But more active, recovering quicker, closing out quicker, going from help side, being in help side, really closing down open lanes.
Kubai picked up her second foul on the offensive end, and that's number 3. She got a piece of rice.
Oh, I like the attack. You attack a mismatch right there. I mean, Kubai is certainly capable of defending a perimeter player, but Rice uses the ball fake, the pivots, all of the things, all of the fundamentals, right, that you get taught when you're a young player. Those give her the advantage, and Kubai fouls.
Yep, that is now the third on Morello, who goes out. Sarah Bates has checked in. Good look at Elena Rice, who is an Auburn transfer. Syracuse actually her third school in as many years. Started at Florida A&M as a freshman. Last year was at Auburn. Kubai on the bench. Muriel Page, got a good look at her. Muriel Page had a great year, a great career, at Florida. Played in the league for a while. Part of Coach Fortner's coaching staff. All of a sudden, folks, we got a 5-point ball game. Good third quarter for the Orange. Well, tough turnaround. Hyman got it. Syracuse looking like a whole different team here in the third.
And those are the things that Von Reed spoke about. If we just consistency, right? If we can have consistency, putting together 4 quarters of the defensive energy and intensity that we need, rebounding the basketball, and then being able to put it in the hole.
Hyman, that was a tough shot. Now they're going to get Styles for going over Hermosa's back.
Well, 2 players converged on the ball handler, and then Styles does come over the back of Hermosa.
And the call we just heard from the PA announcer was on Hyman. I don't know about that. That was
know about
definitely
that either.
Styles over the back, and Hyman at least initially called for that foul.
That may have been
There's
one of
the
those where
freshman,
Styles
Wilson.
wanted to put her hand up and say, hey, no, that was me.
Yeah.
To save your teammate from that 4th foul.
That is 3rd foul now on Hyman. Christiana Carr has 4 for the Orange. Coach Reed going only about 6 deep so far. Timeout called on the floor. Syracuse making this a ball game, down 5 with a minute and a half left to go in the third. Welcome back. Syracuse down by as many as 16 in the first half, cutting the lead to 5, but the problem is the problem on your left. Tisha Hyman and Christiana Carr both with 4 personal fouls. Styles and Chrislyn Carr have 2 apiece. And this is a major storyline, will be for Syracuse all year, playing shorthanded. Ebony Walker, who is an Arizona State transfer, only playing 6 games so far, out with an undisclosed injury. They don't know when she's coming back. Love, out of the timeout, gets a much-needed bucket for Georgia Tech. Coach Von Reed really only comfortable playing about 6 players, and a couple of them in big-time foul trouble.
And it really hinders Syracuse's ability to continue to close the gap. What they were doing in the 3rd quarter, coming with the pressure, full court pressure, traps, quick rotations. You're not quite as aggressive on the defensive end as Lautinen knocks down the 3. You're not quite as aggressive on the defensive end when you're thinking about that foul trouble.
Absolutely, and a big 3 for Lautinen, who had 10 points in their last game at Miami. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Still 3 straight double-digit scoring games, and that's the way. Murray attacking the basket, getting some points.
All it takes is just getting a little bit of a feel, getting some confidence, seeing that ball go through the bottom of the net.
Murray missed her first 6 shots tonight. Coming on strong now, breaking out of a 3-game shooting slump. Shot clock is off. Murray's been a great leader for this team, a transfer from Texas Tech. Spreading it out, Chrislyn Carr driving on Hermosa, little stop, pop, and hit. Terrific finish to the quarter. And Chrislyn Carr cuts it to a 6-point lead.
Well, Georgia Tech gets a 3 from Lotamai Lautinen, but end of quarter clock management so good for the 'Cuse. Gets the switch, exploits the switch. Carr for 2.
Fourth quarter about to get underway in Syracuse. Pam Ward and Stephanie White joining you. Georgia Tech does with a 6-point lead, and you look at the shooting comparison. Lotamai Lautinen with a late 3 in that 3rd quarter. The only 3 that they've hit. Syracuse just 36%, but Steph, we saw a much better and seemed a cohesive effort from Syracuse in that 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I thought their defensive energy and intensity was better. They forced 7 Georgia Tech turnovers. Started to be able to convert some off of those turnovers. If they can maintain that energy and continue to chip away and find a way to knock down a couple of shots, they're in good shape.
Yeah, 20 turnovers forced against Georgia Tech. The season high for Tech is 22 against Louisville in a game that they led for most of it before losing on Emily Engsler, former Syracuse players. Last second layup, Love gets inside.
Georgia Tech was fortunate on that possession that Lottman found Stratman on the sideline. You don't want to keep the ball on the sideline against this Syracuse team. They are coming at you with 2 players. They're fast to get in those passing lanes.
Part of the makeup of this defense. Christiana Carr out there playing with the 4 personal fouls, too heavy off the glass. And this is one of Love's strengths, able to get it up quickly, but then she throws it away. Turnover number 21. That says it all without saying a word.
Well, and it's frustrating for a coach when you struggle offensively and you get opportunities. You don't want to come away with empty possessions. You've got to give yourself a chance every time down the floor. And another turnover for Georgia Tech. Of course, it's frustrating for Nell Fortner.
Absolutely. 24 first half points for Syracuse. They had 18 to cut the lead back in the third quarter. That one skips off. Lottman comes away with it. And Mosa and Kubai combined for only 4 points in the third after scoring 24 together in the first half. So much better all the way around. You referenced Syracuse's defense, and they shut down the big kids, but you're not shutting down Lily Love on that.
You know, she's come alive in the second half. Really struggled offensively, but got herself to the foul line in the first half. Been able to convert here. One of the things that I thought Georgia Tech did early in the ball game in the first half was they used their horn set a lot to get that high-low. And when the ball's in the middle of the floor, you can't bring weak side help. And if you do, you put your shooters in the corner. I'd like to see them go back to some of that action in the middle of the floor.
Boy, Georgia Tech unable to convert on that 3-on-2 break. Carr guarded by Bates. Goes inside, hits the deck, no foul called. And the pace picking up. Lottman going to slow it down a bit. Here's Stratman, the former Syracuse player, gets it over to Hermosa, who's definitely cooled off since that really good first half. Murray challenges, gets fouled again.
I like that Najee Murray is initiating contact and going to the rim. Again, we talk about when you're struggling to put the ball in the hole, the best way to get yourself some confidence is to get some easy buckets, layups, and free throws, and she's been able to do that.
Stratman committed the foul, now heads over to the bench. Najee Murray from Stockton, California. We remind you that tomorrow night, Bald Men on Campus is back. Jay Billis, LaFonso Ellis, Seth Greenberg preview the ACC slate of weekend games and the latest news from all around the ACC, only on the ACC Network and the ESPN. Stratman was not out for long. She comes back in. Nine Georgia Tech players have gotten into the game today, 7 for Syracuse.
And you continue to see the pressure. With Georgia Tech, you want to get the ball back in the middle of the floor, settle your offense, and work the clock.
Kubai on the bench, or off the bench, back in the game, posting up. A tip ball leads to another turnover.
Well, Syracuse has done such a good job of loading up when the ball's on the wing, of loading up that backside, of not allowing an easy post entry pass.
Season high 23 turnovers now for Georgia Tech. But a double dribble, that's 24 turnovers. Vaughn Reed, the acting head coach, and was not taking a lot of, deflecting questions about whether or not he will be kept on as Syracuse in the post-Quentin Hillsman era. Been a terrific assistant under Q for several years, and boy, you talk about a challenge. I mean, he had 11 players transfer out, and one of them who stayed, Priscilla Williams, is redshirting this year. on the bench, but not playing this season. There is Priscilla, who had a really solid freshman year, was a starter, averaged 9 points per game, had a head injury that ended her season in the ACC tournament. But that's a big loss, and just trying to get all these components, everybody coming from all these different programs and all these different systems and never playing together until this year.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it is for Vaughn Reed. I mean, he has been the architect of the system. He's an analytics guy, so plays a lot of the numbers. We've known Syracuse to shoot a lot of threes and go after offensive rebounds and try to turn people over. And now you have a roster, a whole new roster that you have to try to teach that system to. And then he has to adjust the system as Kubai gets two, because it doesn't quite fit the personnel that they ended up with, right? So it's a constant adjustment for this team and how they're going to attack opponents, and not just offensively, but defensively as well. Syracuse has done a better job of looking to attack off the bounce. They've had success getting into the paint, now getting foul calls. A lot of what they've been able to accomplish offensively has been individual efforts. So again, if they could get to where they're working together, the ball's moving side to side, lots of players are touching the ball, they'll get higher percentage looks.
Hyman got a pretty good chance as she slashed in the lane, but Lottman came over with some late defensive help. Now Kubai might have gotten a little bit too deep under the basket. A fresh 20 seconds.
That last possession, Lily Love missed an opportunity to hit Kubai on the high-low. And that's exactly what you're going to get. If you can keep the ball in the middle of the floor and get a seal down low, good things are going to happen. And Love has the length, has the ability to post up the smaller Najee Murray down low. We'd like to have that one back.
Murray's about 5 inches shorter than Love. Really developing her offensive game. One of the things that Coach Fortner said she worked really hard on over the summer, but as you've seen when she gets in the open court, she can turn on the Jets. 0 for 2 on that trip. Off of Rice. Georgia Tech retains possession. Look at the rebounding, it's double now. 44 to 22. Georgia Tech, a terrific rebounding team. Kubai, the best in the conference. Good defense. Murray stuck a hand in and tied her up.
Well, and this is exactly what Syracuse was not doing early in the ballgame, the adjustment at halftime to bring the doubles, to get lots of different players down there, keep the bigs of Georgia Tech off balance.
So a timeout at Syracuse, 5 minutes left to go. Georgia Tech hanging on to their 11-point lead.
This Syracuse defense has presented some challenges for Georgia Tech, and you can see the coaching staff, Mickey DeMoss and Nell Fortner, strategizing right here. They're probably going to come trap us. This is what we have to do. This is how we have to attack. And Pam, Nell Fortner has talked to us throughout this season about the challenges that they've had with this offense and getting different players to initiate, no true point guard, playing essentially with 4 forwards, and how to utilize each person in the best way possible to allow them to be successful on the offensive end of the floor.
And what a great resource. Mickey DeMoss, who was on your Indiana Fever coaching staff, and Nell Fortner, your head coach when you won a Big Ten championship at Purdue a couple of years before the national title. And it really has been. And she talked about the challenges that they have had as a coaching staff, coming up with ways. As you said, with the 4 forwards out there, Kiara Fletcher, that's just losing her is a huge blow for this team. They would be so different, particularly on offense. And they're coming up with a way, man. They're number 18 in the country. They've got 13 wins. They beat Georgia and UConn back-to-back. Best defensive team in the country. Syracuse at 43 points. Go ahead.
Yeah, and when you can hang your hat on your defense, you're always going to give yourself a chance as Hyman knocks down that three. And Nell Fortner talks about this team just being tough, like tough-minded. Doesn't matter what's thrown at them. They just continue to play. It's not always pretty, but they found ways to be successful.
And that last shot that we saw from Hyman was the first field goal that went into the net for Syracuse in this quarter.
This is one of those possessions, Pam, where Kubai has to get deeper position. That's a great pass and a good three by Stroutman. But Kubai cannot be stood up 4 feet from the rim. She's got to get deeper position. That should be an easy two.
Stroutman now with 9 in her homecoming. Just over her season average. Love comes up with the rebound. Lady Tech has turned the ball over a season high 24 times, 18 points for Syracuse off of them, but just not hitting from the outside. Bates. Stroutman again. Hits the back of the rim, and Bates, the smallest Georgia Tech player out there, gets the rebound.
Right place at the right time. Lily Love kept that alive. But this is exactly what Georgia Tech wants to do. If they can dictate tempo, if they can take shots late in the shot clock, and then give themselves opportunities with the offensive rebound, as Kubai uses the pivot, this is their strength. Dictating pace, dictating tempo.
Taking that time off the clock that Von Reed expected that they would do, looking for the next best shot. Maybe back up to 13. Stiles has played a nice game.
She has, and I think Syracuse can use her a little bit more offensively. She does such a good job in the screen and roll of setting that screen and getting to the rim on these drives to be able to step in and be a drop-off player and knock down some shots.
Good defense as well. Stiles tonight with a career-high 5 steals for the Orange and trying to check Kubai. Shot clock really skinny now for Lottman. She needs to get it up there, does just in the nick of time, hits the rim. Rebound taken down by Stiles. And another whistle with a minute 41 left to go. Leah Love called for that personal foul. She takes a break. Hermosa, 13 points in the first half, just 4 here in the second for Georgia Tech. They're trying to scratch out yet another victory.
And there really hasn't been as much of an effort to get the ball to Hermosa with her back to the basket in the second half. You know, some of that can be the defensive pressure that Syracuse brought, particularly in the third quarter, that you just can't initiate offense. Made it very, very difficult.
Bates called for the foul. That's her first 14 foul. Murray dribbled into trouble. Kick ball. Georgia Tech's next game is Sunday against North Carolina. That's a noon game on the ACC network, noon Eastern time.
Pam, that'll be an interesting game. Georgia Tech's defensive intensity and execution against a high-powering offense of North Carolina.
And after that, Boston College, talk about high-powered offense.
That's right.
Light it up. Cameron Swartz with that 39-point game against Clemson last week. And another Georgia Tech turnover. I mean, how frustrating must that be, former head coach Stephanie White, when you're seeing your team 26 turnovers now, and you have a lead, you know, hang on to the ball, get on the plane,
really
get warm.
And particularly because you're always looking to find ways that you can get better, and mentally you don't want to have lapses. You're hitting about midway through conference play. You're getting ready to play these teams, a lot of these teams for the second time. But particularly coming off of a tough loss like they came off at Miami, you want your team to be sharp. You want your team to be motivated and ready.
Hermosa, there you go. After a very quiet second half, buries the jumper. So the Yellow Jackets going to foul again.
Again, Syracuse, Syracuse just taking advantage of the switches. That is a tough shot. There's no need to foul on that shot. Force Syracuse, force Rice to make a tough contested shot over an outstretched hand. There's no reason to foul.
Yeah, especially with the 11-point lead, you're inside 30 seconds. You want the game to keep on rolling. Elena Rice, the Auburn transfer, giving some good minutes to Coach Reed tonight.
I think both teams are going to have some.
Go ahead.
I think both teams are going to have some really good film opportunities to grow here. And Vaughn Reed has continued to tell us, we're close. We know we're close. The schedule's going to turn for us at some point. We played all the really good teams in the ACC, and you can show the things that they did really well defensively in that third quarter, attacking mismatches, getting some points in the paint, and the areas of growth. And Georgia Tech just seeing the unforced turnovers, what they're looking at, handling pressure. How can we minimize these turnovers? How can we make life easier for Lodamai Lottinen, who's not a true point guard? How do we make life easier for her and getting us into offense?
Yeah, Coach Fortner going to come away with a victory, and also a lot of stuff to look at when they go to their film sessions moving forward. Georgia Tech, you mentioned, plays North Carolina and BC next, and Kristlyn Carr gets a nice round of applause. She has fouled out. Nia Wilson, the freshman, coming back in. So this will be the 5th straight loss now for Syracuse. Hermosa at the free throw line. They go to Notre Dame next, then Pittsburgh, and there's still some toughies on the way, though, for this Syracuse team. They've got Louisville, Virginia Tech play at NC State. So no rest for the weary here. There's the upcoming schedule. As you see, that Louisville game slated to be on ESPN on the 6th. There's a shot. Hyman knocking it down from distance. So the 4th-3 of the game for Syracuse, under 11 seconds left to go. We will take a very quick timeout.
Well, Syracuse really working for that next game, working for finding offensive flow, and a good job of continuing to make hustle plays, finding Hyman for the 3. And one thing Vaughn Reed talked about, this is a tight group. This is a group that's for each other. They continue to fight, continue to get better. We think we're really close. And they're not, because you asked him, how's morale? How are you guys feeling? And he was very complimentary of this group and their ability to stay together.
Yeah, he said it might be the closest team that he's ever been a part of, and that can happen. This again will be their 5th straight loss. And teams can fall apart, but they've been talking about it. I know Najee Murray earlier in the season was saying, hey, we're just going to stay the course, keep working, and she thought, if everything fell into place, that they could be a pretty good team by the end of the season. They've had COVID issues, some injury issues. Very short bench and playing in the tough ACC. Because remember, unlike the men's side in the ACC, there's a lot of women's teams that are ranked in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
It's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet every day. So these coaches are coaching them up to the final 10th of a second here. Georgia Tech with their
schedule coming up. At North Carolina and Boston College, a couple of high-powered teams back-to-back. And then they go to Clemson and then NC State, Virginia. Talk about a gauntlet. Look at that.
3 on the road.
And for Georgia Tech tonight, Nerea Hermosa, a new career-high 21 points. As Lottman tries to end things, and Syracuse won't let her. Hyman coming up with the foul. And that is her 5th. Nice effort, though, from Hyman tonight, who, remember, did not play at all last year. Went 622 days between games. And coming in and doing a lot of the work tonight, scoring 18 points. Lottman at the line. Georgia Tech going to go to 14-4, 5-2 in the ACC. Georgia Tech led from the very beginning, actually led before any time was off the clock because there was a technical foul because a light wasn't working properly on the backboard. And Nell Fortner might not be a happy camper tonight about what she saw, but she got the all-important win. So Georgia Tech takes it for Steph White and our entire terrific crew in Syracuse. I'm Pam Ward as we say so long from Syracuse. Time now to get you to the studio. Kelsey, Muppet, Chelsea, and Kelly Gramlich